Guys, I have been speaking to a few portals, web portals, for the marketing of my own business. And during this conversation, I came across their sales staff. And I was so surprised to know how badly trained these sales guys were. Of course, this is not the first time that I'm interacting with somebody who's not being able to pitch the product well. Some of them were so bad that they actually drove me away. The person who was wanting to purchase and therefore made an effort to call them. If you don't want to make this mistake, then you are at the right place. In this video, I'm going to be covering one key aspect of making your sales pitch super hit every time you do it. If you want to know what that is, keep watching. Welcome back, champions. My name is Hardik Harsora and I run a management consulting company. For the last 10 years, our methods have been covered by 50 very reputed publications. You could check that out on my website. If you think there is an improvement opportunity in your business, but you do not have time to actually do that improvement, and you believe that learning is not enough, it's doing that gets result, then you can hire us. We could do the implementation for you. And to know how we can do this, go on to my website, scroll down, select the relevant area you need help on, answer a few basic questions, and that way you will be able to book a free one-time consultation call with me where I will tell you how my company can help your company propel. The only thing, the spine, the indispensable, the thing that you absolutely cannot miss, it's a crime to do that in a sales pitch. No, it's not product knowledge. It's probing and questioning. With appropriate questioning, you could achieve a million things. Let me outline a few for you. You could discover the right product as per the need the customer has presented because you've asked that question. You could figure out the features and talk about the features of your offering, your product or service in line with the needs of the customer. You could identify objections during your probing. You could answer those objections proactively even before they are asked. And the best of all, if you are a pro at probing, questioning, you can even close the deal right at that point. So let's look at how should you do it. And when it comes to how, I'm going to be breaking it into two parts. First, things that you must keep in mind while questioning. Second, I'm going to give you an example, a real example where I have helped one of my customers do a sales on the field. So questioning in a sales pitch starts the moment you finish with your greetings with the prospect. The moment you say, "Hi, I'm happy to serve you," questioning really starts. But here are a few things that you must keep in mind. First, when you question, you got to be questioning with some curiosity. You cannot be questioning, and your question mode or the way you go about questioning cannot be like you want information so that you can make a sale. Your questioning needs to be showing or displaying the curiosity that you have in understanding the real need of the customer. Second, your questions have to be crisp and to the point. You cannot be asking a long-winded question that is very difficult to understand, because if the question is difficult, trust me, the answer is going to be that much more confusing. Third, while you question, it's extremely important that you keep confirming the understanding. What's extremely important is you and the prospect are on the same page of understanding with every question asked and answer gathered. Last, but the most important, don't attempt to sell. Selling is going to be a byproduct if you do your questioning well. And trust me, that entire sales experience will be so enriching for your prospect that your prospect would feel that he's bought your service or product instead of somebody selling it to him. So let me give you an example and explain the whole thing to you on how to use probing and questioning and what is the result. And like I said, this is a live example. So here is a client that sells machines to dermatologists and cosmetologists, people who treat skin and hair related problems. Now there is this doctor that we went to meet with one of the customers' sales guys, and this is something that we very often do when we are helping a customer improve their sales, because the best result is what you get when you actually see the action happening. So I had been with the sales guy to this doctor. The very fact that the doctor gave us the meeting means there was a need. The moment we reached the doctor, the sales guy said, well doctor, here is a machine ABC, and this you can use to conduct a procedure for people who come to you for hair loss, and are getting bald. Now he started immediately talking about all the features the machine had, the laser the machine had, the cold probe, the hot probe, and all of the digital aspects of that machine to the doctor. After listening to everything, the doctor said, well, I don't think this machine is for me because I don't have the kind of customers. Now I was looking and observing the whole thing, and I obviously understood there was no questioning done here. So I jumped in and I asked the doctor, when you say you don't have the customers, what is it that you exactly mean? The doctor said, well, this machine is very costly. People who come to me for similar procedures, they don't give me the kind of money that this machine I will have to charge if I use this machine. I asked the doctor further that do they have money and then they don't give it, or do they not have the money itself? When I asked this question, the doctor said, well, they do have money, but they won't give it to me. Now I asked the doctor then, well, what if they start giving it to you? How much incremental business would you do? The doctor did not have a precise answer to that, but the doctor in his mind started calculating the positive impact that it may have if people were to give the money. There, the birth of the need happened. Then the next thing that I asked the doctor is, well, doctor, let me tell you this. If the customer comes to you, the patient comes to you, and he says, I have hair loss problem, you have two procedures, the one that you currently use and the one that we are recommending with this machine. This machine procedure is obviously expensive. So what if you tell this patient that, hey, there are two kind of procedures that I have. This one is far superior and this one is okay. It will get the job done, but it's okay. The price point for both of this is what it is. What do you think a customer or a patient who has the money will choose? The doctor immediately said, well, he will choose the procedure with the machine because he does not want to lose out. I said, doctor, this is called FOMO, fear of missing out. If you employ this, how many patients who come to you right now will actually convert into doing a procedure on this machine? The doctor again did not have a precise answer to give to me, which is okay, but the doctor did do that estimation. The next question was, how much money will you lose if you don't have this and these customers don't get converted into the new procedure? The doctor understood where I was getting to and he took the decision to buy that machine. Well, throughout this sales pitch, I did not talk about the features of the machine. I did not even pitch that, or my questions were not around the features. And the reason why I did not do this is because the first answer that the doctor gave me was not challenging the features or how this machine and the procedure is better. He didn't challenge that. So that was not the cause of concern for him to make that buying decision. His cause of concern was, will the people, the customers, the patients pay me as much as I need to charge them to use this machine? And if that question was answered, he was ready to buy. Now, if you are using these probing techniques in this fashion, I am 100% sure you will succeed. So how should you go about implementing this? Well, very simple. Well, first, start going with your salespeople on the field and understand how the conversation is happening. Then think of all the objections that are going to come. Figure out questions that you can ask to unveil which objection the customer really has. Exactly the way I did it with the doctor. I understood that his objection is not the price, it's not the feature of the machine, it's not the time that should he purchase now or later. His objection is very clear. Will my patients pay for the procedure that I will do with this machine? If the answer to that is yes, I'm ready to buy. This understanding of the objections will help you construct questions that can help you unveil those objections during a sales conversation. Once you do this, teach your salespeople to use these questions on every sales call. You be bold enough to go there and demonstrate it to your salespeople on how probing can actually eliminate a lot of tough questions or a lot of tough sales scenarios, sales conversion scenario. It can skyrocket your conversion rate if you use this way. So if you like this video, do hit a big fat thumbs up. Share this video with all your sales guys. It's mandatory and it's criminal if you don't let these ideas float. Share it with your friends and colleagues who are into business, because any businessman is definitely into the activity of sales. They will all love you if you share this brilliant piece of advice with them free. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, my friend, what the hell are you doing? Go hit the subscribe button. Not all good things in life come for free, but this one is. So until next time, keep learning, keep implementing. Go hit with probing and questioning skills in your arsenal and convert a lot more than you ever did. Because all you guys, I want you to keep probing.